Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Imtiaz Hassan from Jamia Millia Islamia. Today we are going to discuss about a module database management system in biology under the paper bioinformatics. The objective of this paper is to discuss about the introduction of biological database. I mean, what are the basic features of the database, what is a database, then what are the different types of database, then what are the different biological database, I mean in terms of the gene, protein and this other sequences, then what are the major drawbacks or pitfalls of the database, then what kind of information can be derived from the database, how this information convert into the knowledge. So we are going to discuss all these information. If we talk about the database, we can define a database that's it's a structured collection of record or data that is stored in a computer system. The structure is achieved by organizing the data according to a database model by organizing array of information and place where you put the things, and if all is well then you should be able to get them out again, and that's known as the actually searchable. The resources for the other database or as a tool so that so many data sets are integrated together, so database of the one place can be taken to the other databases in that way. And it is the simplify the information and in terms of specialization. For example, if you have a sequence, if you want to know certain types of information, then you go to the certain database, and the same database, same sequence information on the different database give you this different type of information. So it will give you a well specified output in the terms of your requirement. And finally, it allow us to make the new discoveries because there are so many hidden things that never have been utilized. It can be derived from the analyzing the information in the database. We are going to discuss about the basic structure of a database. You can see here that in a database there are some client and which is attached to the internet face and the computer browser. From there you can access the database. On the other side, the software which receives and translate the instruction to enter into your browser. So you can see here that there is a database management system which converts your query into the machine level language and then through the particular script, and then it further give you information in your desired format. So this mostly the RDBMS, the purpose of RDBMS is to store the data and it will give you in the desired format. So bioinformatics database, the characteristic features, actually what are the characteristic feature? Main is the data are in the biology because of the advancement in the computer science and the other technology. So many data are coming day by day, and every day the new gene sequences, new protein sequences, new structure are determined, so growing amazingly in the size. And that's why there is a necessity of the data of the database which can store all these information in a well organized format. That's why as the increase in the number of biological information, the database size are increases day by day. And it should be the specialized because the specialization especially give you the idea that which genomes they contain. For example, if you want to a database of the mouse genome, if you want to a database of the human genome, or if you want to a database of all the genome, that you can go for the different specialized database. And then which type of information you want to extract. For example, if you want to extract the genomic information such as what are the regulatory sites in the gene, how you design the primer, what are the other binding protein binding regions or transcription factor binding regions, all these information can derive separately. However, in the terms of other way, you can annotate the function in terms of motifs, other part, so you go for the different database. So the basic feature of the database that it depends on what are your requirement, it will give you the output. Then database contains a large number of information, especially such as for the sequence, it gives the information in terms of nucleotide bases or the amino acid residue. So that depends on what you want. Then the structure, it having the three-dimensional structure of most of the protein whose structure are determined, it is available on the protein data bank. Then it will give you idea about the families, that which set of genes are known to be a homologs, and a similar kind of gene located belongs to the same family. Then you do the annotation which processes each gene are involved and a lot of information from the genomes, and that can be derived by using a large number of bioinformatics tool to give you the gene to function by using the functional genomics tools. We discuss about what is the necessity of a database. You know that there is large number of data emerging day by day because of the advancement in the biological sciences, and especially the next generation sequencing technology that leads to the creation of a large source of data. So that's why there is a need, there is demand for the storing and communicating large data set and make a biological data sets available to all the individuals across the world, and also to make the biological data available in a computer readable format, so anybody in the world can utilize their database for further their research. That's why there is a necessity of database to maintain the entire set of information in a well organized format, and that is useful for them any individual across the world. Now we discuss about what are the quality of a good database. The quality of good database, it should be the comprehensive, that it should be easily understood by any layman. The second quality is the accuracy, that it don't have much of the redundancy, much of the any problem, so it is free from all the problem. It should be provided in the accurate form, and of course it should be up to date, means all the new information shall be added in day to day, and all the database should be updated time to time. And there should be a good interface by which anyone can easily search, anyone can easily use, and it have the option for the batch search and the download. So anybody want to download certain data, they can use that data for their use, and it should be attached with the web server, and it should be integrated with the other database. So these are the basic quality of a good database. We discuss about the method for the accessing dataset. To access a dataset, there should be a local installation, or there should be a screen scraping. For that, mostly the BioPerl language are used, and it is utilized through the FTP site, that is the file transfer protocol site, which can help to store and utilize the all datasets. We discuss about the types of the database. Database are mainly of two types. One is the primary database and one is the secondary database. The primary database is actually a repository or archive of the database. It is actually contains the data derived from the direct experimental sources such as the DNA sequencing or protein characterization, and authors submit their own material which are curated by the database. There are many well-known databases, for example, for the nucleotide and protein. One is the GenBank, which is started in 1982 and hosted by the NCBI since 1992. The another is the EMBL, that is the European Molecular Biology Laboratory, which is hosted at EBI and since 1994. The another is by the Japan, that is the DNA Data Bank of the Japan, which was funded in 1986, and it is available online. So these are the three major nucleotide sequence database, which is known as the primary database, where anybody can, whenever they get any data from their biological study or experimental study, they has to store all the data into these databases, and that's why it is known as the primary database. The secondary database are the specialized type of database. That's the actually curated database, or you can say the annotated database, in which the information curated by the database and no direct submission from the scientist. It is the actually analysis of the primary database. For example, the Swiss Prot, it is having the annotation and minimum redundancy, integration with the other database, and well organized documentation, so anybody can access this database and get their desired information in the different format. The another is the protein data bank, which stores the three-dimensional structure of the protein, but it is the well analyzed and well annotated database of that's why it is also considered as a secondary database. Another is the protein information resources, which receives directly sequenced protein, and that contains again it is the curated and the annotated database of the protein sequences. So we discuss here what are the types of bioinformatics tools, especially, or what are the types of bioinformatics database. So one is the sequence database, that stores information about the sequences, or either the gene sequences or the protein sequences. Then the sequence contains a lot of hidden information. So some database which are well annotated, such as the SwissProt database, that will have the, along the sequence information, it have the information about the protein, and that is derived from the sequence. Then the other database for the sequence analysis, for example BLAST, is used to compare the sequences. To take one sequence and you want to know how many sequences are similar to that protein, then you go for the simply run the BLAST and you will get output of all the sequences. And the other way is, if you want to compare two sequences or more than two sequences, you go for the pairwise sequence alignment and multiple sequence alignment respectively. So the sequence alignment is the another tool that used for the bioinformatics database comparison. Then the functional genomics, these tools are actually helps to identify what are the functional function of the particular gene or the particular protein. It helps the functional genomics to derive the function. Then the literature database, having the information about the literature, like the whatever the research going on, it will publish in the form of papers or the review articles, or the in terms of the other, like the letter to editor, in that format. So you can locate all these things in a database, like the PubMed is storing all the information. Then the structural database, having information about the protein's three-dimensional structure. That's the protein data bank, which stores the information about the all the protein, their structure is determined in terms of its atomic coordinate as well as the annotated version of the structure. Then metabolic pathways database, having information about the certain pathways, and for that KEGG, Kyoto Encyclopedia of Gene and Genomics, having the information about metabolic pathways database. And finally it's the specialized database, having the certain sort of specialized database. If you want to know the immunological database, that have the only the immunological information. If you want to have the mouse genome database, then having the only information about the mouse genome. So these are there are many certain well specialized databases in the biological sciences. We discussed mainly about the DNA sequence database, especially there are three DNA sequence, although there are many DNA sequence database, but three are the major DNA sequences database. One is the GenBank, which is actually their host is present in the USA, and it is hosted by the NCBI, and all the gene sequencing data has been stored to the GenBank. The another is the European database, that is the European Molecular Biology Laboratory, EMBL, which is stored at the EBI website, and it is directly utilized from the EBI website. The third is from the Japan, and that is the DNA data bank of the Japan, and all these database actually stores the information about the DNA sequences. We discuss about the three major protein sequence database, and these all are the secondary database, and I will give you the brief description about the SwissProt, which is the secondary database of the protein sequences. It also contains information about function of a protein. Apart from their sequence, it have so many additional feature of the any data, like if you have know anything about the protein, so it have the information about the function of the protein. It will give you idea about the post-translational modification, where what are the region where the post-translational modification can occur, and at what extent the post-translational modification was there. Then how many domains in the proteins, how many motifs in the protein, where these domains are located, what are the distribution of this domain, what are the distribution of the motifs. Then it also gives information about the secondary structure of the protein, means how much the alpha helix, how much the beta strand, how much the coil, and where these secondary structure are located in a protein. Then it also give about the quaternary structure, that whether this protein exists in the form of monomer, dimer, trimer, tetramer, etc. Moreover, it gives the idea about the similarities with the other proteins. So you can easily get the idea that what are the other proteins similar to that protein on the basis of their sequence similarity as well as the function. Then we can get the information about the associated disease and the deficiency in this protein. So what are the diseases associated with this protein, and if there is any sequence conflict like the variants, all this information is stored in the SwissProt. So it is a secondary database actually which annotate all the information of the protein at one platform. The another is the TREMBL. It is the actually translated European Molecular Biology Laboratory. It's the translated version of the EMBL, which is computer annotated protein sequence database supplementing the Swiss Prot protein data bank. TR-EMBL contains the translation of all coding sequences present in the EMBL nucleotide sequences and not yet integrated in the Swiss Prot. TR-EMBL can be considered as a preliminary section of the Swiss Prot for all TR-EMBL entries, which should finally be upgraded to the standard of the Swiss Prot quality. Swiss Prot accession number have been assigned. So there is some sort of integration between the TR-EMBL and Swiss Prot. Another third database of the protein is the PIR, that is the Protein Information Resources, which having information about the phylogenetic based annotation of the protein, and in fact all three combining effort from the UniProt. So the major website or major database, the UniProt, which having all the necessary information about the protein. We discuss about the different file format of the sequences. Actually the sequences are simply the code of the 20 amino acids or the 4 nucleotides, but it should be presented in the different file formats, and that format is read by the different types of software. That's why there are large number of the file formats are available, and each format have their own advantage and disadvantage, like the GenBank format, like the NBRF format, EMBL format, Swiss Prot format, GCG format, that is the single sequence format of the GCG software, then DNA Strider, or that is used for the common Mac programs, Pearson or FASTA format, PhyLib 3.2 sequential format for the phylogenetic program, then PhyLib interlib format for the PhyLib program, plain or raw sequence data only, there is no name or document numbering, then MSF multi-sequence format used for the GCG software, then POP, it is also the multiple sequence nexus format, and ASN.1 format that is used by the NCBI. So these are the different file formats, and they all having their own advantage and disadvantage, and they are, especially it is the readable for the different software. That's why the different kind of format are assigned for the sequences. We can see here the EMBL format of a sequence. You can see here at the top the information is given that what is the messenger, is it the messenger RNA, then what is the size of the messenger. You can find here that the 1859 base pairs, then the date on which this sequence was created, then the name of the enzyme, then from which source it is, then the classification, especially the taxonomic information you can find here. Then you can find here the midline ID, PubMed ID, who are the author, where this work was published. Like you can see here, it is published in the Plant Molecular Biology in 1991, and then it is submitted by at the GenBank and watch format. Then you can see here the translated sequence of from the DNA to the protein, and at the bottom you find the DNA sequences, the DNA sequences, and above that you can find the translated version of the protein sequences. You can see here another format, that is the GenBank format, which contains the information about what is the locus of this gene. Then it is you can see here 5028 base pair long DNA, and the organism is the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and the enzyme is the TCP1 beta gene. Then the primary accession number is given here, then the organism taxonomy. Then again you can find the information about the citation, like in which journal it is published, and when it is, like you can see here, it is published in 1994, and the authors' names are also there. Then midline and the PubMed information. Then you can see the information about their prime protein sequences as well as the DNA sequences, and you can see here the DNA sequence given at the bottom and the protein sequence is given at the top. In slide number 17, you can see here the Swiss Prot format. It is for the protein sequences, and again you can find here the information about the first Swiss Prot contains a primary accession number. You can see here the primary accession number is Q823P0. So if you want to search again this this about information about this protein. If you simply put this primary accession number, you will directly get these information. Otherwise you need to search by the name or by the any other information. Then you can see here the date of the creation of the data, and at what dates updates. Like you can see here, it was updated in 10th October 2023, then again it is updated in 2004. Then you can see the information about the authors who have published this work, and then you can find here the detail about the integration with the different databases, information about the function like the gene ontology. You can see here the same protein on the TIGR, Interpro, PFAM, SMART. So there are different websites. You can directly locate this sequence by clicking on these highlighted things, and at the bottom you can find the sequence of this protein, and also you can find about the function. You can see here this protein is involved in ATP binding, and like that. We discuss about the NCBI. It is the National Center for Biotechnology Information. What actually NCBI do? It is established in 1998 as a national resource for the molecular biology information, and NCBI creates biological public database, conducts research in a computational biology. It develops software tool for analyzing genome data and disseminate the biomedical information. All for the better understanding of the molecular process affecting the human health. This is one of the most important biological database which stores varieties of information about gene, about protein, about structure, about literature, about disease, about the SNP, ESTs. A large number of databases are actually stored in this platform. So this is one of the most important database in the biological science. You can see about the basic structure of the NCBI. You can see here the search box where you can put the information about the gene, protein, author's name, in any information, and in the left column you can select. You can see here all the database where you can select the different types of database. For example, if you want to search a compound, you just select the PubChem, then it will search for the any compound. If you want to search about the gene, enter the any gene name and you select the gene, it will give you the information about the gene. Similarly for the protein, and it contains a list of database. You can see here in the right panel that it's information about the NCBI, then GenBank, like the sequence submission support software. Then you can see here the literature database such as PubMed, OMIM. You can find the books and PubMed Central containing the free download contents. Then molecular biology database, like that. Right side you can find about the different types of tool, like the interest tool, like the BLAST, and all the other tools available here. So this is the basic homepage of the National Center for Biotechnology Information, but it contains varieties of information that can be utilized. We give you the basic information about the NCBI, like NCBI contains literature database where you can find the PubMed, PubMed Central, books, and OMIM. In the PubMed you can search any literature which is published, especially in the biological sciences, which were published from a longer time till date, and it is a highly updated database, and it contains all the information about the publication, and it is directly linked with the publication site, so you can directly download the research papers from the PubMed. Then the PubMed Central contains the free articles that because in the general article you need to pay for the access of the article, or it should be free, but in the PubMed Central it contains only free articles, so it can be downloaded from anywhere. Anybody can open it and download it. And the books, you can find the database of the book where you can download the books of your requirement. And the OMIM contains the information about certain gene and its association with the disease. So if you want to know any correlation of any gene with the disease, then you can go to the OMIM. The another is the molecular database. For example, the sequence database like the EST, STS, GSS, HTGS, like the high throughput genome sequencing data, HTC, FLIC, Unigene, Ref sequence, Homogene. All these are the actually sequence database, and this is stored in the different formats. For the protein structure, like you can go for the MMDB, that is the protein model database. Then the CDD is the conserved domain database. You can go for the
taxonomy information, and the other database such as the GEO and Sky. So these are the major content of the NCBI. We already discussed about the PubMed, PubMed Central, books, and OMIM, and especially the OMIM is the Online Mendelian Inheritance in Man. It is a timely, authoritative compendium of the biological material and observations on inherited disorders and human genes. It is continuously updated electronic version of the Mendelian Inheritance of the Man. We give the description of the different sequence databases such as the HTGS, that is the high throughput genomic sequences entries that are submitted in bulk by Genome Center, processed by automated system, and then released to the GenBank. Similarly, the EST are the small piece of the DNA sequences that usually 200 to 500 nucleotide long and that are generated by the sequencing either one or both ends of the expressed gene. Similarly, Unigene is the automatically partitions GenBank sequences into non-redundant sequences of the genome-oriented cluster. Similarly, the sequence tagged sites STS are the short genomic landmark sequences. They are operationally unique and they have specifically amplified from the genome by the PCR amplification. So these are some basic sequence databases which are associated with the NCBI.
Now we discuss about domain and motifs in the specialized database. Like for example, domain is the compact unit of protein and that behaving independently. And there are many proteins having one domain, two domain, three domains. Some domain independently function, some domain may function together. So the domain analysis give you the idea that functional entity of the protein, and from a sequence you can identify how many domains are present in a protein and where these are located. The other component is the motif, that is the conserved region of protein which might be the part of domain, and that's actually give you the idea about the function. You can see that a short sequences which having a certain information or a short repeats that having the certain specificity towards the particular function, and it is the determined through the motif or can be identified through these servers such as the blocks, that is the funded by Hinkoff, and use the multiple sequence alignment of the conserved region. Then another tool is the prints, that's parallel to block based on the OWL database, and it is doing the hierarchical gene family fingerprints. The another motif finding tools are the ProCyte is associated with the SwissProt, and it finds the biologically significant protein pattern and the profile. The another is the ProDOM, that's the automatic created blocks, and the PFAM, which is the family based identification tool that's performing the multiple sequence alignment and based on the hidden Markov model to find out the common motifs on common structure in a protein. Then the most widely used tool for the domain finding is the CDD, that's the conserved domain database, which is associated with the NCBI, and it alignment of the model for the conserved protein domains. So these are some tools that is used for it, that is based on the bioinformatics database and can be used as a tool to predict the different types of domain and motifs present in a given sequence of. Now we discuss about the sequence and structure database. So the structure database is the protein data bank which have the information about both the sequence as well as the structure. So it stores the three-dimensional structure, atomic coordinates of the biological molecules, which including protein and nucleic acid, and the data obtained from the X-ray crystallography and NMR or the computer modeling. But for the computer modeling, a specialized database is the molecular modeling database. For this, over 28,000 3D molecular structure including protein and polynucleotides. And the other database is the contains, again on the basis of a sequence and a structure database, are the structural classification of protein, which actually which classifies the protein on the basis of a structure, especially the secondary structure elements such as all alpha protein, all beta protein, then alpha and beta proteins, then alpha/beta proteins, means 1 alpha 1 beta, like that. It classified protein on the basis of a structure. Like the another classification in taxonomy classification, it having the taxonomy of the protein and classify all the protein on the basis of its three-dimensional structure and especially the secondary structure content, and that's classification of protein according to a structure and evolutionary relationship. So the scope also helps to establish the evolutionary relationship between the many proteins and the many sequences.
we provide the information about the immunological sequence database, like the CABARTS database of the sequence of protein of immunological interest. You can see the URL. Once you click on this URL, you can get the information about the proteins of immunological interest. And the sequences are classified according to antigen specificity and availability in the PRIL aligned format. Then the immunogenetics database that focuses on the immunoglobulins such as T cell receptor, MHC genes, what are the MHC genes, what kind of the antigen it could bind, and all these information you can get in the immunological database. You can also get the information about the how many antigenic sites are present in a particular protein or the antigenic protein, whether this protein is virulent or not. All this information is available on the immunological sequence database. A specialized database, like the focus on the one organism or the group of organism, so it have the information about the sequences of one organism, like for example Colibase. Colibase is a database which contains the gene sequence of the E. coli and the related species. It can be accessed through the colibase.bhm.ac.uk. Then the GDB, that's the human genome database. It contains information about the human genome. Then the Flybase contains the data sets of the Drosophila genomes. Then Wormbase, contains information about the C. elegans genome. ATDB having the information about the Arabidopsis thaliana, and SGD is having the genomic information about the Saccharomyces cerevisiae. These are the specialized database which have the information about the particular organism, genomic information of a particular organism. You can see here the expression database, which gives idea about the expression of the different proteins or the RNA, like the RNA expression database. That's the results of microarray experiments measuring the change in a specific mRNA content under the certain condition. And the Array Express EBI and the GEO NCBI, although it's not user friendly, but it's having very good information that what kind of messenger RNA expressed in what condition, and that is analyzed through the microarray information. Similarly, the proteome database having the information about the 2D gel electrophoresis images representing the protein content of the cell or tissue under the specific condition. So even if you do experiment for the any proteomic analysis, you can compare your data set with the compare your data with the available database on the proteome website, proteome database, and especially it is available on the SwissProt as the SwissProt 2D page. So these two are the expression database, one for the messenger RNA which was gained through the DNA microarray experiments, and the other is the proteome database which was gained through the 2D gel electrophoresis followed by mass spectrometry. Other database which are most commonly used, like for the literature, is the Medline database that containing most of the medical information. Now it is connected to the NCBI in the form of PubMed. Then the HireWire is the database of the literature which stores the very widely used publications in one platform. Then similarly, if you want to analyze or see the variation kind of database, like the single nucleotide polymorphism, that's available on the NCBI. The other is the HGBase. These are the two databases, and there are also of course many databases which represent the variation in database. Then the metabolic database, if you want to see the pathways, like the KEGG, Kyoto Encyclopedia of Gene and Genomics, it's the KEGG database, and WIP, these are metabolic pathways database. Then the organism nomenclature, like the taxonomy, and Mendel, that's having the nomenclature or the taxonomic information of any organism. We discussed what are the major problem associated with the biological database, or you can say the pitfalls in the biological database. The major errors in the nucleotide sequencing, that's because of the sequencing error, because of the frame shift mutation, because of contamination with the sequences from the cloning vector, and the exception care of the sequencer produced before the 1990s, because at that time the CS sequencing methodology was not updated, not very advanced. The other chances are the redundancy, because of the repeated submission. The same sequences are repeated by the many authors, involving identical or overlap sequences by same or the different authors, or the revision of the annotation, dumped of the express sequence tag data, or the poor database management. These are the most common problems associated with the biological database.
We give the idea about the few important bioinformatics database like the GenBank having the nucleotide sequences, Ensembles others like the human or mouse genome sequence, PubMed that's having the literature references, NR it is the protein sequences, SwissProt for the protein sequences, Interpro for the protein domains, OMIM for the genetic disease, enzymes for the enzymatic information, PDB for the protein structure, KEGG for the metabolic pathways. And you can find the URL of all these websites, and it is very user friendly. Anybody can access from the anywhere by using the simple internet. URL of the different types of the databases, you can go to the any URL and you can find the information accordingly. Resource information, these are also the different website or the different server where you can find the different types of the database. It gives you the idea about the integration of the different database through each other, and each information can be associated with each other. Like example, the protein information on the SwissProt and the PIRL, where you can get the information on motif, block, and the PFAM. Then the disease link with the OMIM, and it is associated with the SNP. Then the structure information. So all the database are actually integrated with each other, and you can get the better information once you use the integrated database. So I hope you understand about the bioinformatics database or biological database. Now we can just summarize all the things that the biological database represents an invaluable resource in support of biological research. We can learn much about the particular molecule by searching database and using available analysis tools. A large number of databases are available for that task. Some databases are very general, while some databases are very special. For the best results, we often need to access multiple databases. Then the common database search method include keyword matching, sequence similarity, motif searching, and class searching. And the problem which are using biological database, it includes incomplete information, data spread over, then multiple databases, redundant information, then various errors, sometimes incorrect links, and constant changes. So the database standard nomenclature and naming conservation are not clearly defined for many aspects of biological information. This makes information exactly more difficult, and the formulating queries is a serious issue in biological database. Often the quality of results depends on the quality of queries. So the access to biological database is so important that today virtually every molecular biological project starts and ends with the querying biological database. So let's thanks you everyone for attending this class. Thank you very much.